What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Grave Media. This is Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. YouTube, welcome. It's not Sunday, it's Monday. It's a new work week. See, I usually work Monday through Friday. I had today off for my wife's birthday and whatnot, so it was, when it's a national holiday and I don't have to work, I feel like I enjoy it so much. When I'm supposed to work and everybody else is working, there's like this dread. This kind of creeping suspense that like work is piling up for just me. Everybody's mad that I'm not. It's just like this psychological, this terror, this torment that it's like I'm going to be just tortured. I don't even know. Kind of like 2005's Hostel from Eli Roth. You a fan? Can we get into it? First of all, thanks for being here. Let's check this out. Eli Roth. Just saying his name in the horror community usually sparks some sort of controversy or debate. Horror's great gateway director, or the often much maligned producer who will put his name on any damn thing, who gets more laughs and snickers than the applause of the Fright Film fans. Well, whatever you want to say about him, I'll tell you, more often than not, I'm a fan of his. From Cabin Fever, Green Inferno to his new Turducken Holiday Hamfest Thanksgiving, I followed his career because of one movie. One movie really made me sit back and go, holy shit, this dude is gonna go there. And that is the legendary 2005 instant classic Hostel. I think I was 20-something when this thing came out, and like most people, I remember exactly where I was when I put this DVD into that old Magnavox player. I just played a show, and the entertainment for the evening was gonna be Hostel. And I don't know what I expected from it, but the last 45 minutes were not it. It did not go over very well. There's a lot of different kinds of people, and people are like, what the fuck are we watching? Hostel, directed by Eli Roth, is a film that carved its niche in the horror genre by often polarizing audience with its graphic depiction of violence and human depravity. The film is an unsettling exploration of the darker sides of human nature, showcasing the extremes of fear and exploitation that can occur in the name of entertainment and said thrill-seeking. At its core, though, Hostel is a cautionary tale about the risks of hedonism and the consequences of indulging in a world that prioritizes thrill over morality. So what's the plot of 2005's Hostel? Well, it's really like, put yourself in this position. You and a couple of your best friends, you want to go to Europe, you save your money, you want to do a little backpacking, a little cheese, right? A little vino, as Pauly Shore would say. It sounds like the destination of a lifetime. You're gonna go stay in this hostel, you're gonna drink, smoke, party, meet all these females, right? And you're gonna live it up, you're gonna explore, and you're gonna kind of get it out of your system and backpack across the country. And nothing goes correct. Nothing, I mean, I think with this, so the plot is pretty simple. Yeah, three best friends, Paxton, Josh, and Oli, and they show up, they're going to this hostel, and they're gonna backpack. They're lured in by the promise of adventure and these set experiences. What begins as this enticing escape becomes an absolute hell, just a fucking nightmare, man. But what happens is they meet these females, they show up at this hostel, and there's welcoming and willing females that are down to do pretty much anything, and you throw some alcohol and some substances on top of that, and all of a sudden your guard and your defenses are completely lowered, and they're basically trapped. They use the females to catch their sport, right? These hunters, this game, this bloodhound group, this absolutely intense. I mean, it's cheesy now when you think back on how simple this movie is. Yeah, get a bunch of dumb American dudes to go overseas, shower them with sex and see if we can kill them for sport. Perfect. I think for me, the secret sauce, the razzle dazzle that makes Hostel work, and the only thing that makes it work besides the gore, because you don't care about the other you don't care about the other characters. That's hard to say 3 times. What the fuck am I doing? You don't give a shit about the other protagonists or the people in this film because they're just offered up for slaughter. There's no backstory. That is a weakness of the film. The strength of the film comes from this little crime syndicate known as the Elite Hunting Club. The best of the best, the wealthy of the wealthy, right? This elite hunting club who've got their own little tattoos that they have, the bloodhound. They got a little card that they give out like, oh, you must be interested. Ooh, fancy, right? They're basically just these thrill-seeking experiences for these really elite hunters. The club operates in a super secret manner, so you don't even know what, you get to explore your darkest desires, and you get to torture, kill, maim anybody, unsuspecting victims, by just paying just a little bit of a price. Just a little bit. Primarily, you're killing tourists who are lured to this location under false pretenses. The Elite Hunting Club it's really the exploitation of human life, where murder becomes this twisted form of entertainment. And I think it's fucking super interesting. I think it was a fun take. I think that it works. I think that showcasing disturbing, the commentary on, hey, I've got the wealth, I got the privilege, I got the power, it means I also get to have the violence. It's different. It's an interesting story for this film. It's kind of the reflection of society's darker impulses in a way, where that thrill of violence, it totally eclipses any morality and any sense of normalcy that you might have, any bad feelings you might have before you do something. Nah, it's fine. We paid them. We're the elite hunting club, right? That aspect, the methodical approach, the abduction, the murder, how it's facilitated, the different local accomplices who they use as bait to help torture and trap them. And then once they're trapped, these victims are just completely subjected to horrifying torture, specifically designed. They've got facilities that are they're all worldly. They look horrible, but they actually work. Everything's set up for this to continue to be a secret. You can't get, shit's awesome, dude. That organized and calculated brutality is, I think, what makes the crime syndicate and Hostel. It makes it hauls the mail. It's the secret sauce. It's what works for me. Hostel, I think it's pretty highly regarded now in the horror community because it does have this ability to invoke some horror elements, some terror, but the gore and how far they go, the first time you see that, if you're not used to films like this, it catches you off guard. This is the normies torture porn. It kicked off the whole genre, right? Maybe with Saw, obviously, but this is, a lot of people probably hated seeing this because this is not what you're used to seeing picking up on the main shelves from a Blockbuster, right? So it does have this ability to kind of draw you in with this false sense of hope, pretty women, sex, everything's going fine, you're partying, and then all of a sudden that false sense of security is unleashing this torrent of just absolute hellish torment, where you're in the point of view of the travelers and each one has a different experience, and the knock on the film is that you don't care about them, but you definitely feel like this could be happening to you because you wake up, you don't know how you got there, you're disoriented, you're drugged, right? And you're interacting with these people who either they're not speaking, they're not saying anything, they're wearing a fucking mask, and they're not giving you anything. They're just hellishly, slowly just cutting you to pieces in whichever way they choose. And you can see that there's blood everywhere. It probably smells really bad, like meat in that bad motherfucker. And you have no idea. You just got like all these, it's just like a gore horror's playground, man. And imagine being the person. I think that is pretty effective for most audiences, but I think that the suspenseful atmosphere beyond the gore, it does create more of a psychological experience, with the one knock being like, I don't care about these characters, but this would fucking suck to wake up there and not know how I got there. So, that really is on the director, that we're just kind of served a platter of, here's the golden goose, literally, to this crime syndicate, to the victor go the spoils, right? But it is a commentary on the nature of horror itself. It is going to challenge most people and their consumption of violent media. There wasn't a lot of things doing that at the time. I think that the voyeuristic tendencies, and how we consume violence for entertainment, it's kind of relevant to how things go today, right? We all slow down on the side of the road, right? Rubbernecking is a real thing. True crime, Netflix, we're just constantly, did you see the new one about this and about this and about everyone? The water coolers, it's always true crime. Did you hear about this guy and this cult and this polygamous and this religion? And it's just this fucking onslaught, man. That stuff never stops. There's always a new serial killer, true crime documentary on every Peacock, Hulu, every fucking thing. Constantly. And I love it, right? I love it, but we're so used to it, and Hostel kind of plays off of that hedonism, that voyeuristic, those tendencies that we already have, and it just brings it right to the forefront. I think a lot of people don't like seeing the gore and what actually happens, and God bless Eli Roth, at least he took it there with this film. In part 2, there are some scenes in that movie, man, that are just absolutely incredible. I think that, the torture porn films that followed this, it sparked a lot of discussions about the evolution of where horror was going, and how to terrify an audience changed from just kind of the possession, the psychological horror of the 90s, right? The kind of whodunit, the masks, the serial killer, the scream movement, right? I still know I always know, bitch, I said I know what you did last summer. All of that stuff. Then we got Saw and we got Hostel, and it just completely different. You know, there was toe tag and there was some other hardcore things, but for a lot of normies, Hostel was as hardcore as they were ever going to see, and that's pretty cool. So, yeah, folks, I mean, I'm very aware that everybody and their mom has seen Hostel. You probably got this under the Christmas tree back there in 2005, right? Everybody opened this thing up, and it was just like a nice little parting gift, and you went ahead and you turned on your PS2, you put this bad motherfucker in there, and you guys just all sat around breaking walnuts and just having some, peanut brittle, and life was good. Everybody's seen Hostel, but for some reason, let's say that you haven't, I think you should definitely check it out. It was weird being a fan of this movie when it was being hated and panned by everybody. I mean, there was probably groups of people that liked it, but I just didn't know any. I didn't know anybody that liked this movie, and I was on an island, and I was like, I think that was pretty badass. I also like Cabin Fever a lot. And so then as he started making more films, they're not all great, right? He's made some stinkers, let's be real about Eli Roth. But I thought Hostel, the first two, were I wouldn't say they're incredible, but these are very serviceable exploitation flicks. If they're not on your list to check out, why not? I mean, Quentin Tarantino put his name on it, so you know it's good. To be honest though, I'm probably the target audience for the torture porn era. Not the stuff that's like Saw and Hostel necessarily, but I like it when it's grimy. I like video violence. I like the shot on video aesthetic of some of that stuff. You know, and I thought there was going to be a big boom. I'm not going to lie. I thought this was going to take over. And there were quite a few movies that came out. You know, the Collector series had come out. Was it Found? That was kind of a trip. Laid to Rest. That wasn't really torture, though. Laid to Rest. Human Centipede, the Guinea Pig movies, August Underground, that series. You know, Funny Games, The Woman. There was enough torture porn, I think, but it just kind of had its moment and it left. Anyway, that's kind of where I stand on Hostel. I think it's the gateway. It's the decaffeinated coffee crystals. It's the Folgers in your cabinet that you can always put on and give somebody if you're not sure where they stand on gore or torture. Hostel's going to get the job done. It's at least it's the measuring stick for a lot of people's horror IQ. If you want to see more from me, please like, comment, subscribe, and then follow me on social media on the Instagram there. Talk some shit down there. Are you a fan of Hostel? Is it overhyped? Do you hate Eli Roth? Show me on this doll where he hurt you. I don't think he's that bad of a dude. I think that he pays a lot of homage to some of the greatest that ever do it. I think that he at least took some chances in his directorial debut. I'm hoping that he'll do something cool again. I'm not even a fan of Thanksgiving, but everybody else loves it so damn much I finally made myself watch it last year, and it's fine. It's fine. It's a well-made movie. It's competent. The gore's cool, I guess. I don't get it, man. I'm just talking about how I'm the target audience. I'm not the target audience for as much as I love horror and a gimmick, that gimmick, it just doesn't suit me. Give me just some blood, guts, and gore. Hostel all day. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Cheers.